Hi, I'm Sergio from Mexico.
Sid.
See?
Sid. S-I-D.
I'm Klaus Kim.
Klaus?
I'm from Hamburg.
I have a really important question. Where are the señoritas?
Girls ready to party or what?
Should we bring the booze, said Muffin? Yeah, we're ready.
Yo, how you guys party with the ladies last night?
Crazy party.
Drink up, Mr. Vicious.
Looks like the Korean version of Robert Palmer.
I want to meet it.
Daría lo que fuera para lamer cada parte de tu cuerpo.
Do you speak any Korean to your parents?
No, I'm adopted.
I fighter?
Don't tell me you're afraid to fight a girl.
What's your problem? I know what my problem is. Everyone knows what happened between you and Grace last night.
I just feel really uncomfortable right now.
Congratulations on the movie.
Thank
Terrific
you.
work. I mean, we watch your character in this movie go from, this Madonna wannabe and just fully dressed up like Madonna, but as the movie goes on, you sort of have to sort of take away that facade and sort of see what's underneath.
Yeah.
How hard was that for you? How challenging was that?
To me, it was kind of one of the best parts of the role because to me, I really wanted her to be a full person. I didn't want her just to be like, hey, hot chick, And so for me, the challenge was to create as deep and as many layers as I could. And so I think once I got in there, then everything else was smooth sailing in a way. Because it just, because I feel like that's the place where she starts from anyway, and so all the other stuff is just put on top. So once I found the core of her, then, you can just do all the other stuff.
Exactly, yeah. No, because that was just great, because, at first it's like, is this going to be like a stereotypical teenage character? But as it goes on, it's not. Which was the joy of the movie, is sort of how these characters are not simply... You could relegate them to one type of person, but after a while, that type becomes irrelevant.
Right. Thank you. Well, I'm glad it came through. Phew.
Yeah, it did. That's what I loved about the movie. I mean, because it's, did you do a lot of research into the 80s, or did you?
Did.
Okay.
I went Madonna research crazy. I watched all her early stuff, which was so exciting, and I read all about her life and what happened to her and what she thought about it, both at the time and then looking back. And so I went crazy with the research, but I loved it. It just was so exciting, and a lot of the music I knew already because my mom loved Pretty in Pink and all those movies soundtracks, and so I grew up listening to them.
Yeah, those soundtracks were great. And any 80s movies that really stand out to you in particular that really had a big influence on you?
Gosh, I don't know about that. I think for me, the time period, the stuff that excited me was probably more the research, the music videos, and the things I read and the music. I don't think I was modeling as much toward any movies per se.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the repertoire you have with the rest of the cast is great. Was that something you all worked together on before our camera started rolling, or did that come across naturally during shooting?
By repertoire, you mean just chemistry?
Chemistry, yeah.
I was I don't know if it was something we worked on. We had a few days of rehearsals going in, and Justin and I actually already knew each other, so that helps.
Yeah, that does.
And but for everyone else, I think it just fell into place. I mean, it's a pretty special experience for a whole bunch of kids from different places to all get smack dab thrown into a new country, or from some of us, a new place, and we're all stuck in hotels together and in the boonies. It's not even like we're in Seoul; we're in the boonies. 4 hours outside, there's countryside and national parks. Right. And so we all ended up just hanging out together, bonding and partying, and,
Well, that's kind of a mandatory. You have to party.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that what I loved about this movie is that, it's about, on one hand, you have Koreans who come from all parts of the world.
Yeah.
But after a while, the fact that they're Korean is sort of almost goes to the side, because the problems your characters deal with are what any teenager deals with.
Exactly.
And I just thought that was a major accomplishment of the movie, because it's obviously, you're looking at one specific side of the experience, but that specific side still entails so many other facets of teenage life that, it doesn't matter if you're Korean or you're American or whatever, because these problems everyone can relate to.
Yes, I think that's the point. You hit it on the head, and I think that's what we need these days, is to realize that, a story is a story and we all go through the same things. We're all human, so let's all just try to understand each other. And in terms of diversity, let's understand that, anyone can be that story because we all live it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks for figuring that out.
Oh, yeah, sure. No, that's the joy of the film, because when it first started, you think you know where it's going to go, because it sort of seems like it's going to be like a raunchy rom-com almost, but it's really not.
Yeah.
It goes way beyond that. Was there anything in the script that really surprised you more than anything else?
Surprised me when I first read it, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Surprised me more than anything else. I don't know. I'm trying to remember back to when I first read the script, but I know that probably at the time, and also definitely now when I watch the movie, every single time when that mother, I don't want to do any plot spoilers.
That's okay.
Plot spoilers. But the relationship between the adoptee and her mother, the woman who plays her mother, just, brings me to tears every time.
Yeah, it's an amazing sequence.
I think that is the biggest surprise for me every single time. I'm just like, wow, it's just so real, and it's such a universal thing like motherhood that I think, blows me away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this movie has a great 80s soundtrack, of course.
Yes!
I mean, were there any songs you're really glad were in the movie, and were there other songs you wish were in the movie? Or
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, I mean, don't judge me, but I didn't know that Erasure song at the end before I started filming that film. And so I first heard it when Benson was we were in the production vehicle on the way to set, and he was kind of just quick editing on his computer the stuff we'd shot from the day before, and he'd thrown that Erasure song to that part, and he was showing me, and I was like, what song is that? Na, 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 na. And I just was in love, Right. And so that I think is the standout song that I found during that time that I just thought, I love this song. Of course I love all the Madonna stuff. We originally were going to sing a different Madonna song, but yeah, I think Erasure is the way to go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a band that is probably not as widely known back in the 80s as others, but they definitely have a staying power, and there are certain songs they do that are just beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess if we wanted to be funny, we could have thrown in touch me once. I mean, that could have been a little bit.
Yeah. Or 99 Luftballons or something
there
like that.
There you go. Yeah, I like that song, actually. That's a great song.
It is a great song, yeah.
Right?
I was just listening to that on Sirius XM the other day. I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, they play both the English and the German version. I prefer the German version.
Oh, there's a German version. Okay,
there is a German version, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Justin was telling me he really wished they put Take On Me by A-ha in the movie.
Oh, but that's such a popular song already. And it would have cost $1 million.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Benson was saying, that they had a limited budget, so, getting those songs was expensive, yeah. And for you, what was the biggest challenge of this role for you?
I think really to make it as deep as I could under the circumstances, because we know it's a story being told from really the perspective more of the three boys, because it's Benson's story. And so as with anything, when you're if it's not your story that's being told, sometimes you get relegated to kind of something that's a little bit more superficial. And so to me, I just felt that it was really important that it's not. And so I think that was the biggest challenge. I kept trying to find ways, and I didn't know during it whether it was working or not, because it's not like they were showing me dailies of myself. So, and Benson was really great. He had a lot of trust in me, I guess. And so his relationship with me, he really was not the type to really be in there trying to micromanage at all. He really kind of gave me the freedom to go. And so in the sense, that's almost sometimes scarier when you don't have someone trying to tell you what to do. Right. Because you're doing what you want to do, but you don't know if it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
So there's that risk. And so I think that probably was the biggest challenge, was just, like trusting that all the stuff that I tried to find would come through.
Absolutely. Now that's a very good point, because you want to serve the director's vision, but at the same time, when they give you a lot of room to move, it's great, but at the same time it is frightening, because you're not quite sure where you're going. But that's kind of like at that point, it's almost like you stop acting at that point. You just are the character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a very good thing. I think it's a very good thing. And also, I mean, in terms of the Korean aspect, I mean, was this some... I mean, the thing was interesting, like Justin said he spent a year abroad while at USC studying in South Korea. Was there anything about Korea that you were not really aware of beforehand, before doing this movie, and became more aware of afterwards?
Yeah, I didn't know much about the diet. To tell you the truth, this sounds weird, but I think I just assumed, and part of it was that we weren't shooting in Seoul. So in Seoul, you have everything. In Seoul, it's like Mexican food, like Italian food, everything's there. Mm-hmm. But where we we're like in the boonies, and it was like more difficult than I expected to like find things that like weren't meat or weren't spicy. Right. And I guess we happened to be in like the spicy pepper town, so maybe that's why.
Oh, okay.
But I think that I never realized that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Their culture doesn't gravitate toward vegetables as much in this town. That's not this town's thing. They don't have as many vegetables or bland foods or whatever. So.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lame answer, but that was like...
No, that's great. No, that's great, because it kind of almost sounds like it sounds like you were in something like upstate New York, where there's only so much there you can do.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like upstate New York, maybe because we're American, we're used to it.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, because I was in upstate New York a number of years ago, and I just remember feeling kind of trapped there, because I really couldn't, I didn't have a car at that point, and just you could only go so many places. We weren't exactly near to New York City either, so that was the thing. So it's interesting you say, we were stuck in the boonies. That's where I felt like I was back then. So yeah. And
wow.
What do you hope people get most from Soul Searching?
I hope they have fun, man. Like if the stuff about diversity comes through, which I hope it does, especially with the conversations that are happening right now, that, we can't have a movie that isn't, with only one Asian person. We can have more than one Asian person in a movie. Like, let's just get that out there, But beyond that, I really just hope they enjoy it,
Yeah. And to see that, Asian people or Korean people, they come from all places of walks of life,
Yeah.
And there's so many different ones in this movie. You kind of like, are there any others that didn't quite make it into the movie? Because it's like, the fact that they're Korean after a while is it really just a side issue, because it's like anybody else.
Yeah, we're all people, and
right.
The more that we really try to understand and find our similarities and understand the different parts of us as well, and learn, the better. There's no need to be like, oh, I'm this, you're that. No, I mean we're all just people. We're all just people.
Exactly.
Is it true that you've been telling everybody?
Get out of my face.
Do you have any memories of your natural parents?
My mother.
Have you thought about finding her?
See, put your foot down.
No.
If you get jumped, all you need to do is holler. We'll whoop that bitch's ass if you give us $20.
In a weird way, Mr. Kim reminds me of my dad.
Sid have a girlfriend?
Grace, I don't have the same problem that Sid does.
Stop.
Hey, buddy. Why do you hate me so much?
Why don't you tell me about your father?
Why?
I'd like to try to understand you.
There's so much I want to say to you, but I can't seem to find the right words to say it.
Take it easy on yourself. Can't always be around to save your ass.
Sergio a dream about beautiful girl. Hey, tranquilo. Let's celebrate our destiny.